You know, sometimes the biggest changes, the biggest revolutions, they start with the simplest of questions. Today, we're going to dive into a story about how one person's frustration with a really chaotic system led him to ask a powerful question, what if, and ended up completely changing junior golf coaching for the entire world.
So, when you think of golf, this is probably what pops into your head, right? These beautiful, sweeping landscapes, that quiet focus, a game of precision, of etiquette. It all seems to have this, this natural, peaceful order to it.
But here's the thing. Underneath that calm, tranquil surface, the world of junior golf coaching was, well, it was anything but orderly. In fact, for one particular coach, it looked a whole lot more like total chaos.
And this is really where our story begins. Not on some quiet, perfect green, but right in the middle of a system that was frustrating pretty much everyone, coaches, parents, and especially the young players themselves.
I mean, just try to imagine being a coach back then. You'd have kids who'd never held a club before mixed right in with kids who were actually pretty good. There was no real curriculum. You literally had no idea who was going to show up from one week to the next. And a lot of the time, the coaching was just given away for free, which kind of devalued the whole thing. It was basically a system that was set up to fail.
But right in the middle of all that chaos, one person saw something else. He saw an opportunity. He saw all that frustration, and instead of just, accepting it, he started to wonder, what if?
And that person was David Gosling. He was a PGA professional who had been, by his own words, obsessively in love with golf since he was just a kid. So this wasn't just a job for him. He lived and breathed the game. He'd spent his whole life in it, and he just knew it deserved better.
So as the 1999 season was wrapping up, he took a hard look at the absolute state of junior coaching. And he asked that simple but incredibly powerful question, what if there was a better way? What if you could bring some real order to all this chaos?
And that one question, asked during the winter of 1999, led to this, the Bitesize golf solution.
And he didn't just think about it, he went out and built it. He created this amazing series of structured, engaging workbooks. He made a clear, colorful pathway for learning that kids actually thought was fun. This was a system designed to turn that raw potential into real excellence.
So what was it exactly? Well, at its core, it was a structured program, a real step-by-step system designed to teach kids not just the mechanics of how to swing a golf club, but those deeper life skills that the game is so good at teaching. And these were the magical ingredients. The program taught things like honesty and respect right alongside the rules and etiquette. It used task-focused learning and weekly challenges to kids hooked and, most importantly, coming back. And crucially, it had this multi-level progression system so kids could actually see their own progress, feel that sense of accomplishment, and get excited about moving up to the next level.
So the program was an instant hit. I mean, his own club ended up with a 36-week waiting list. That kind of overwhelming success made David realize he was onto something much, much bigger than he thought. And of course, that led to his next big question.
What if this wasn't just a fix for one golf club in one town? What if this system, what if it could be shared with other professionals and completely change the game for kids everywhere? Now that was the question that was going to take this whole idea global.
So, in 2001, he formed a company to take the model to the market, and the growth was just explosive. Just 5 years later, the impact was absolutely undeniable.
Get this. Within just 5 years, 850 golf clubs across 8 different countries had adopted the program. This was no longer just some local success story. This was a full-blown global movement.
And it wasn't just the clubs. Over 1,500 PGA professionals, we're talking the experts in the field, they all signed up to teach the program. That's a massive stamp of approval for his structured approach.
And this is the number that really gets me. Most importantly, young golfers had completed 80,000 levels of the program. That's tens of thousands of kids actively learning, progressing, and growing, all through this game. So this timeline, it really shows the whole incredible arc of his journey. It started with that what if back in '99 and led to this massive global success. But, the story took a difficult turn. An investor took the company in a different direction, and David Gosling ultimately lost control of his own creation. But his passion, that never faded. Today, he's reincarnated that original vision as Bitesize Golf, which just goes to show you, you really can't keep a great idea down.
This whole journey really shines a light on the core philosophy behind the program, because for its creator, it was never ever just about teaching kids how to hit a ball.
I mean, this quote from the legend Bobby Jones just says it all, doesn't it? Golf is a mirror for life. It teaches you resilience, it teaches you integrity, and it teaches you how to deal with both the good breaks and the bad ones. That's the real lesson here.
And that is the ultimate goal, isn't it? To build character. To teach kids how to navigate that inevitable mix of fun and frustration that both golf and life are going to throw at them.
So the story of Bitesize Golf all started with one person, looking at a complete mess and asking a simple question. It's such a powerful reminder that having structure, keeping people engaged, and giving them a clear path forward, those aren't just principles for a golf program. They're keys to solving problems anywhere. And it kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? By looking at the chaos in our own worlds, what flame of passion could we ignite?